2020 was an incredibly challenging year for all of tourism and sports tourism in particular as well. We were March of 2020, literally heading into the second day of the men's Big Ten basketball tournament when the first of what ended up being several dominoes fell in our event calendar. But it was a challenge for us to figure out how to survive financially and really how to continue to live our mission. We talked a lot as a team. Our mission is to advance and inspire our community through sports. That didn't change when the pandemic showed up. That was still our mission. We suffered just like everyone else suffered. The hospitality industry has 80,000 plus people that work in it. At one point was greater than 50% unemployment rate. And so that's devastating to the people in our community. And it was very important to us to find a safe way back so they could go return to work.
The pandemic has the impact has been devastating on our arts and cultural community, on our organizations, on individual artists, and on audiences, on those that have been missing those experiences.
Our typical ridership was averaging a little over 16,000 riders a day, sometimes upwards of 24,000 if conventions and things of that nature were in town. But when COVID hit, what we saw was, one, a request from our stakeholders to continue providing the public transit system, which showed we were an essential fabric piece of this city.
We've been through some challenging times, an economic crisis, a health crisis, a global pandemic, as well as a national reckoning on race. But we are in a resurgence downtown. We just hosted the NCAA championships. There were people from all over the country gathered, and we did that safely. We did that in a way that really set an example. And I think our downtown businesses, restaurants, all kinds of establishments are starting to open up again.
It's extremely important for our fans and team owners for us to get back up to speed. We know a lot about speed around here, and we know a lot about, unfortunately, part of racing is failure, part of racing is challenges. That's part of sports. But anyone who's engaged in any type of sport, especially racing, knows it's important to fix the car and get back at it. And that's the only way you're going to win. You're not going to win sitting in the pits. And as Roger Penske will tell you, his expectation is to go faster, harder, and more proficient every day, because that's the only way you're going to find victory.
I'm a person who lives downtown, who works downtown, who sells downtown. All three of the above. And interestingly enough, in the world that I've worked in for the last 27 years, in some ways it's a commodity business. You sell a bunch of boxes. You fly into a box, you get into an Uber box, you travel to your hotel box, you check into that box, then you walk into your convention center box and you have meetings in that box. And boxes are hard to differentiate, so you really have to have a product around that box that makes things exciting. We have a downtown that makes you feel like you're not in another city's convention center that might be on the outskirts of downtown, where there's not a lot of infrastructure around it. When you go to Lucas Oil Stadium or the Indiana Convention Center or Bankers Life Fieldhouse or any of the big venues downtown or the big hotels, there are so many restaurants and pubs and retailers and attractions in walking distance, and that's really the big differentiator for Indianapolis.
When you think about the development that continues to push the boundaries of downtown, Bottleworks has certainly completed their phase one, getting ready to execute on their second phase, so that will include residential, office space. They certainly have the food hall that has opened up, the hotel that's opened up, the movie theater, so tremendous space and has seen tremendous growth. And then if you think about 16 Tech, they're certainly, they've hit the ground running, so they have a number of buildings that are either opening or at least shovel ready. And then on the south side, we're seeing a significant change. When you think about the hotels that have opened up in the old south side, and there's a number of developments, including multifamily units that are proposed for the south side, and then of course the old GM stamping plant with Elanco and the announcement with that development. So we have great stories to tell.
The optimism and what we see going forward, we're going to see so many new outdoor experiences in arts and culture come online here in the next few weeks, and have those experiences. I think it's part of our new reality going forward, is just the appreciation of being able to gather outside and inside. But this is going to give us an important bridge as we come back together.
Well, we think there's some explicit advantages to being located in an urban center. This was certainly true pre-COVID, and I think it holds true post-COVID, and I'm confident that we'll see it pay dividends as we kind of return to some sense of normalcy.
What we've learned during the pandemic is that we have quite some disparities around small business ownership, and especially the impact of the current crisis on Black-owned businesses. So I think as we look at our landscape, we know that entrepreneurs of color face barriers in the marketplace. And in this moment where we're more aware of what those challenges are, we can be more intentional about providing support. That diversity enriches our community. It makes us stronger. It certainly makes our city more attractive to the residents and to our outside guests.
As you can see, the city is going through a lot of rebirth. You know, we're building a lot of infrastructure down here, and we will be continuing to build infrastructure. Our goal is to deliver the next bus rapid transit line. We don't see ourselves as just the 60-foot bus provider or the 40-foot bus provider. We are in the business of moving people.
We are in fierce competition with other geographies. And one of the things I love about Indy is that we have a really unfettered level of ambition around what tables we should be seated at. You know, at least in my circles, we're not frequently discussing how we stay on par with Cleveland and Columbus and Cincinnati. The conversation quickly turns to how do we outcompete with Nashville and Austin and Boulder and Seattle. And I think it's that very ambition that positions the city well for the future, because you can't just get to a place where we're better than or more successful than our neighbors to the left and right. We constantly have to be thinking about, you know, how we move the ball forward and how we compete with the best cities in the world.
When you talk about our city and our downtown, it is competitive. I'm involved in a lot of professional associations. I do a lot of mentoring. It is a competitive market to get the best and brightest of this country to come to your city, to work for your companies, to be a part of your community. And we want that. We want America's best and brightest. We have to get back up to speed to get ourselves prepared to be that place, that destination that folks want to come and live and work and provide their talent and their treasure from our city, because that's going to make everything better. It's going to provide a lift.
Downtown is vibrant, it's diverse,
Public art.
Resilient.
exciting.
Downtown is for everyone.
Downtown is back, and it will be better than ever.
Indianapolis downtown is the heart of this city. It's the engine that drives the state. And for it to get back up to speed means the state getting back up to speed, and meaning that we're all going to basically be able to receive the victory together.